You're now listening to the Palmetto Dugout Show, hosted by State Director Sammy Esposito, Associate Scouts Drew Stewart and Sean Smith, that discuss all things related to amateur baseball in South Carolina. Here are your hosts.
Welcome in to episode 63 of the Palmetto Dugout Show. I'm Drew. This is Espo. I am actually the Richburg Rocket. If you need to go back and check that out, go check it out. But we are live on episode 63 here. And you got to start off with high school preview shows are going great, Coach.
Coach, they're going great. I'm kind of shocked you. You know, that's like a superhero removing his face mask. You let the people know who's the Rocket.
Just so you know, I think it's the Rocket Night's going to be somewhere in April. Elton John's going to, or is it Billy Joel? I can't tell the difference between the two. One of them showing up to sing Rocket Man. That's Elton John, not Billy Joel. Elton John will be there live with his piano playing Rocket Man as I throw the first pitch.
You know, obviously, as we started off on a hot streak here with these coaches preview, and then getting a little hometown love from Louisville for you and breaking out the Rocket Man. It's you know, for all of our hundreds of listeners out there that are really wondering about the Rocket Man, we've alluded to it over the course of time, right? Kind of give it a little backstory. I had a gentleman at one point at a game last year tell me about the Richburg Rocket. They said, "Hey, call Drew the Richburg Rocket." So I think I picked up the phone and called you the Richburg Rocket, and I completely startled you and threw you for a loop. And I think you were I didn't, you know, by your reaction, I didn't know if that was a good nickname or a bad nickname. I still don't know which one it is, but the Rocket is coming back home this spring, and we're going to have a Rocket Man night. And all of PBR South Carolina is going to be in attendance on that day. We're going to come with bells on.
Dressing up as astronauts. I mean, it's going to be I sold out crowd.
And instead of the first pitch, we're going to have them steal a base.
Well, that's just automatic. Make sure they're playing. Oh, we can't say any teams on here. We can't. We'll just stop right there.
Your old school battles of back in the day. We gotta eliminate the.
No, I was thinking we were gonna. They need to play the worst team we ever played, but we just won't go that far. We don't want to brain on anyone's parade.
But regardless of the Rocket Man, the Richburg Rocket, the high school previews are right. They're off to a great start. We've had how many have we knocked out so far?
Around 4 or 5, Coach. We got 15 total to do.
15 total signed up, and that is only 5 less than we did all of last year, with more people interested in it. So we're looking to grow this thing. We're off to a hot start and getting this thing cranked up early, and you know, it makes it unique. And it started really last year, right? When we started doing these, and we asked some of the questions, right, about some young guys with the coaches being able to work with them in the fall. They kind of get a better feel for what their team's going to be. So it kind of gives them a leg up on being able to ask some of these hard-hitting questions we're firing at them.
16, Coach. 9 of the 16 are brand new schools that we never had.
Brand new. So, hey, any other schools, any other players, any other parents out there that want their school on here, let the coach know to reach out to us, whether it's, you know, social media, email, text, phone call, whatever it is. Reach out to us, and
we got the link ready to go.
List, send you an invite and get you on. We're so high tech. Coach Rocket Man has gotten it to where we send out a what is it called?
Calendly
event sign up. So it's these things are rolling, right? These are fun, right? It kind of gives the coaches a chance to talk a little baseball, and gets you know, if there's coaches we don't know who they are, get a chance to know each other, and you know, put some faces with some names with us, and it makes it a good time. So we're off to a good start with those, and fired up, and get you more fired up for the spring, even though we're in the coldest days we've had in a long time here in South Carolina.
To get you one of those PBR-SC bomber jackets, Coach.
Coach, we can get one of those PBR-SC hoodies. You know what I mean?
All 3 of us have them. We look like the 3 Smurfs when we wear them together. Hey, you can tell us apart.
Hey, that's fine. Hey, don't worry about it. I won't buy any gifts next year. Don't worry about that. I mean, if we want
Little
to
did you know, happy Halloween to everyone. It's over. But me, Sammy, and Austin went trick-or-treating and we wore our Smurf hoodies.
what is it? 3 Smurfs.
Sammy went as Papa Smurf.
Speaking of Halloween, I'm still eating all my kids' candy as they collected a couple nights ago. So 3 kids, 3 full baskets, a lot of candy laying around the house.
Hey, it's the best time of the year.
The dental bill will be through the roof. It's okay though.
It's okay. Insurance will cover it. We got a lot of events forthcoming here over the next 3 months, and you kind of go to the most recent here with the Rising Stars event, Coach, at Brooklyn Casey. When is that?
Coach, it's November 12th. November 12th. We're fired up. We're a couple weeks away. You know, right? We kind of got the graphic floating, but 8 players off last year's team that we took down to the junior futures team that finished in the top 4 had come to the previous Rising Stars event in that year. And it is a big help for us, right? We're not the bulk of our time is not spent in the middle schools watching middle school baseball. So we attempt to use these Rising Stars events to help us ID players at that age, or some of these guys were on the varsity team, you know, at a young age, to where we can maybe see them in the high school season, or a high school coach kind of gives us throws us a bone and gives us some info on them. But 8 kids off of our 15-man roster had come to a Rising Stars event. So it was, and 8 were at the Rising Stars. We had a couple others that had come to another event. So they were all kids. Almost all our entire roster was kids that come from an event last year. So these are huge for us. And really with the Rising Stars, I get this asked all the time. What's the deal with them? What's the difference, right? The cost is a little lower, right? We try to help educate the process of what the showcase life's about with not only the player, but the parents. And a lot of these times, these are these players' first time running through a showcase environment. And, we're running the 60, and, they're getting all the TrackMan data. They're getting all the cameras. We're getting all the stuff. And whether they ever come back to another PBR showcase or another company showcase, right, they're probably going to college camps in the future. And a lot of times at a college camp, right, they run them through a showcase style event. So it just kind of gets their feet wet, kind of understand that we spend a little time, we do a Q&A with the parents and try to get some questions out of the way that they might have to help them through this, this process that they're embarking on at that point in time, especially rolling into high school. So these are fun. It's a little bit laid back. It's a little less people. Or a lot less. I mean, we don't get a ton, and we don't expect a ton of players to it, but we just make it a little bit more intimate and a little bit more educational, and have a good time with it for those guys.
Always a fun event that leads into a junior future event on the road. Little old South Carolina moving from top 4 to top 2 next year. Watch out now. As long as we don't run to the buzzsaw of Georgia. But anyway, nonetheless, great event. Make sure you sign up for that ASAP. So you can see our beautiful faces there, obviously.
Live.
You move live in person. Watch out now. You move to the next event, which I haven't had the pleasure of attending the last few years. But it's tough. Hold on. I haven't had the pleasure of attending it, and I've fallen on tough times, so I'm attending this year. That's the PD Regional Scout Day. December the 2nd or the 3rd? I can't even keep up with it no more.
2nd. Yeah, that's Saturday.
2nd.
Me and, our former Sean Smith, who's moved off to becoming an adult and working back in Georgia. Me and him used to have this thing locked down. You were off attending football games and championships, and now you're no longer there. So maybe moving forward, you'll be with me from here on out at this event. Never know. Only time will tell on that one. But it's right. The PD Regional, right? It's kind of based off Derek Urquhart with Florence Post 1 Legion crew, kind of puts together a giant Legion / PD area scout day for all the players down there. And he uses it. It's big for him in terms of help building his team or at least finishing off the roster into the summer, which I don't know if anybody follows or pays attention, but they were in the World Series last year, the
Little
American
old
League
South
World
Carolina.
Series, and little old South Carolina back at it again, and had a weird ending where they only lost one time, but they ended up getting eliminated based on the brackets up there, but had an incredible season and a very talented roster. So Coach Irk does a tremendous job of that event down there. And, 2 years ago when we were down there, it at that moment in time was the largest event ever in the history of PBR South Carolina. We had 80 some kids. Last year was about there as well. We had luckily had surpassed it in some other events, but it's a well attended event with a very talented part of the state that kind of is hidden a little bit. That PD regional. They don't, a lot of not a lot of big whatever comes out of there, but it's a lot of talent, a lot of good programs, a lot of good schools. And I'll also tell you, it has been in our short few years here the most well-attended college coaches at that event, right? All the Division II schools, a lot of the junior colleges, they all kind of pile in and come in there and get a chance to take a look at some of those players. So I've already had coaches reaching out to me. I know Coach Irk's had the same way. So that one's always a good one for us. And you kind of go back and look over the past couple of years and see where some of those kids were as freshmen and sophomore, where they're at now. And a lot of them are committed to, right? We got kids that are committed to South Carolina. We got kids that are committed to Clemson. We got kids that are committed to the College of Charleston. We got kids that are committed to pretty much every school that come to that thing at a younger event. Come to find out today, is talking to Coach Irk, one of the youngsters that came 2 years ago, past couple of years, is now a junior, is going to be a big-time Division I football recruit. So it's always a fun time. We get to see those guys down there. So we look forward to that. That kind of wraps up the year for us.
You find a lot of hidden gems in that area, Coach.
A lot of them.
And I'm so excited to be able to be in attendance this year.
Yeah.
I didn't have any superseding plans this year. Some things kind of fell through the last 2 months, so my plans were canceled. But
was it the last 2 months or the last month?
Hell, it was from the start of August at that point. Coach is just talking. You talk about events that kind of outgrew that one in terms of attendance, and we've got one scheduled, Coach, January 27th. Preseason All-State South returns to the Shipyard.
Returns, Coach. We finally got it booked. We're waiting on one more facility for PSA All-State North. Fingers crossed on that one. But those are getting ready to go live and get on the board, right? Those are our preseason All-States are, right, they're huge for multiple reasons, right? It's at the back end of all the players' workouts. It's right before high school baseball cranks up and get going. But it kind of gives the guys a chance to see where they're at coming out of workouts, get some good numbers out there, get some video, get it out there to schools that are, they maybe that are being recruited, or kind of see where they're at and kind of see where they're set in stone for the start of the year and where they need to get better at. But yeah, we're fired up for those. We're returning back to beautiful Shipyard at the back end of January on the 27th. That got locked in yesterday. So we're fired up. And it, selfishly for us, right, it kind of gives us a good look and a good idea of players we need to go chase ourselves throughout the springtime. And, heck, I think last year between the two events, we're about 170 kids, which is phenomenal. Yeah, and the goal right now, right, is to beat that, right? Can we get to 180? Can we get to 190? So the more kids that come to those events, right, the more chances we get a chance to see those guys. And, right, also those two, we've had kids that got invites to the Junior Futures game. We got kids that got invites to the Future game, Border Battle, all those good things, top prospects. So that those preseason All-States are kind of a great stepping stone leading into the high school season and off into summer.
Yeah, those events were action-packed and fun, as we like to say. So that's 3 big events upcoming. And you're going to add the 4th in when we get the location. Well, that's 4 big ones.
4 big ones coming up, and then we'll just roll right into some high school baseball after that. So it's we'll get that rolling and have a good time.
After those 4 events, you get the best coverage in the state for high school baseball, obviously. Easy there. We got Coach. I heard a rumor.
What a rumor?
I heard that our guest picker was going to be Tyler from Spartanburg this week.
Coach, if we can get Tyler from Spartanburg on, I think our numbers jump astronomically, right? Like we've hit a subscribe number that we haven't gotten to, that we've been searching for. We got there. By the way, hit that button. Hey, it's free, right? To subscribe
hit it.
Like, it's just free. Hit it, subscribe, see what we're all about. But yeah, if we can get old Tyler on here, watch out now. We can have him break down the coaches' salaries in the state and see who's earned their money or not.
I can promise you nobody has, according to Tyler from Spartanburg.
That poor kid. I'll give Coach Sweeney credit. That boy ain't ever getting on a call-in show again.
Because he's no longer a fan of football at this point. He might not get back on his phone for a couple of weeks.
I really hope he didn't use his true name on that one.
He did, because he also revealed himself on Twitter as well.
Oh, no. Poor Tyler. Poor Tyler. There's sometimes, and you know what? I told you this. I give Coach Sweeney credit. College coaches, whether right, wrong, or different, right? They're in the public figure. They're doing everything they can to help their university and their program win. But usually you can't ever say anything back. Well, I think Dabo had enough of it and said, here you go. You want to come at me? I got you, right? And there's always someone a little bit bigger, a little bit badder than you out there. So you mess. What's the old saying from the great movie? You mess with the bull, you get the horns. So.
And I could totally see Omar doing that. Omar from Berkeley on the call-in show. That's where I feel like Omar is from at this point. Hey, I don't even know. We'll get to some picks here shortly. Now we get to the best part of episode 63 is the pick'ems, and our guest picker is not Tyler from Spartanburg, but it's Coach Padgett from Powdersville High School. What's going on, Coach?
That's a tough follow. I don't know. It's been an eventful week. So how are you guys doing?
We can't complain.
If Tyler would have been on here, that was the only way this show was going to be better. But I think you coming in second behind Tyler is making this show top notch. So we're going to get Tyler on. This might be the only way he can get his face back out there.
we earned some credit back. Then you never know. We might be able to get Dabo on right after that. So watch out now.
Wish for.
Yeah.
So we'll hop right into it here. And we'll just start with Tyler's favorite team. Notre Dame goes to Clemson. Clemson is currently 3.5-point underdogs. As Coach says, Vegas knows something. But last week I told Coach, I said I wasn't picking the Tigers. I guess I should have picked the Wolfpack last week. But I'm going with the Irish this week.
When you sent me the thing when it first came out, it was a 1-point spread.
Yes, now it's 3.5.
And you dropped the Vegas knows something. They always do know something. That's why, what do they always say? The house always wins. By the way, I'll be out. If you guys want to lend me some money, I'll be out there next week. So I don't think there's any way Clemson can win. And the Boo Birds are going to be coming down so strong out of the stands that the players are just going to be done with it. I think Notre Dame wins by 14.
Coach?
Oh, I think I texted you earlier this week. That is a smelly line when it comes to Vegas. I'll probably get called a homer if I took Clemson. But I got a couple college buddies in town this weekend, so I feel like that's some good mojo for the game. Although I think I read earlier that they're going to have a couple offensive linemen out too, which is that's also not a good thing the way it's been going.
Can it get any worse?
Hey, I told my buddies we might be suiting up on Saturday if they need any more. So I'll take Clemson in the three. You still giving 3.5? What you sent me earlier?
You just take it straight up.
Oh, okay.
Straight up.
Okay.
Yeah, we take straight up.
Ooh, that makes this a lot tougher then.
Yeah.
Come on, Tyler.
Taking Notre Dame.
He switched
make-
it. He switched it. Hey, well, if game day was coming to Clemson, we would just borrow the kicker that kicks on game day to kick the extra points and field goals there. But unfortunately, they're not. So you move on to game 2, Missouri. Hold on, I didn't even tell you Austin's pick. Austin picked Notre Dame. So there's a clean sweep for the Irish. So the Tigers will win.
Put your money on Clemson then, yes.
Yep.
Missouri travels to Georgia. I think the line, when I had it written down, it was 17 favored in Georgia, but I think it's down to 15.5 now. Coach, I'm one of those guys that hadn't picked Georgia a lot. And you know what? Go Tigers. Missouri wins a big one.
Wow. You have been I get why you're an anti-Bulldog picker or fan. I truly get that. But we always talk about don't bet with your heart. Don't pick with your heart. You pick with your heart too much.
I picked with my brain the last pick.
First time all year. So squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. But Georgia's too good. Every time somebody wants to talk bad about Georgia, they beat somebody by 50. They just get bored playing teams, and they're so talented. Georgia by 35.
Oh, God.
Georgia's probably best team in the country. Just they got a good thing going. I do think Missouri will make that one a little closer. Luther Burden's probably the most underappreciated receiver in the country. And don't let Harrison Mevis have a long kick to win it, because that's all he does is make 65 yarders.
Guy's phenomenal.
Hey, well, you know who Austin's going with. Do we even need to say it?
No.
He's a dog for life.
He's barking at you right now as we talk. He is barking at you.
He barks every day, all day. Game 3, Oklahoma limps into Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State 6.5 point underdogs. Sooners recover here. They cover the spread as well. They better cover the spread.
Is that a little insight into what's going on?
Insight.
A little insight on you. I have picked against for Oklahoma State, and they've buried me every single time. I don't know what to do with those guys. I don't think Oklahoma. I think they're better than they were last year, but they've been up and down, and they've been getting worse. But I don't know. I'm going to lose this one either way, so it doesn't matter. So let's go Boomer Sooner, because I like their nickname better.
I like Oklahoma on the road. I think they'll probably cover still. Rivalry game seems like the
last one.
Yeah. And unless they make them do some changing conferences. But Oklahoma definitely better quarterback, I think, in that one.
Austin's going to Oklahoma, so clean sweep again, Coach. So I guess I'm going to lose on my parlay there. Anyway, game 4, you got Kansas travels to Iowa State. Iowa State, 1 point underdog here. Kansas looked good last week. I think Kansas rolls, and Kansas better.
Again, I guess another little insight. Kansas. I think that coach might be like one of the greatest coaches in college football by what he's been able to roll into Kansas and flip a program that really hasn't won much in a long time. So Rock Chalk Jayhawk, they're going to go back into Fog Alley again and get a win up there. So Kansas for the win.
This is another one. When Drew sent it to me, I was like, this line makes absolutely no sense. So I got the Cyclones at home.
Ooh. There's upset special. Austin's rolling with the Jayhawks. Game 5, Washington travels to Southern Cal. Southern Cal 3.5 point underdogs. Coach, we before the Notre Dame Southern Cal game, we said the Notre Dame Irish couldn't score, but they were playing. We said the Gamecocks has Saluta's defense. I don't even know who Southern Cal has as a defense. They might just pick up 12 or 11 randos. Washington wins big. Southern Cal's not very good.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with the QB out there at Southern Cal if he keeps right. The quarterback at Washington still in all the running for everything.
Phoenix
QB at Southern Cal. is not anymore apparent, according to the pundits out there. I do still think Washington's a better football team, and it's not like when you go to Southern Cal, you're in a raucous environment. So Washington goes down, gets better weather, and wins.
I hope Washington wins as well, as Drew said, big, because Michael Penix Jr. is on my college football fantasy team. So hope he comes up with some big points there this weekend.
I think you got some good odds there. Austin's going with Washington as well. LSU travels to Alabama. Alabama 4.5-point favorites here. LSU with a good offense. Damn it. Give me the Tigers again. LSU beats Bama in Tuscaloosa.
This is your way of really pulling for the Clemson Tigers to win, is picking alternate Tigers. I'm shocked Auburn's not on here, so we can pick them to win as well for you. But, this is a tough one. Obviously, LSU has one of the better offenses in the country, and that quarterback can do some things that kind of give some people trouble. We all want to write off Alabama and Nick Saban early, but big shock. Nick Saban keeps winning and doing well. I can't bet against him, especially at home. Alabama wins a tight one.
Jaden Daniels probably front runner for the Heisman for me, but coach on staff, shout out to Coach Hogan. He's a huge Alabama fan, so I can't go. He will never forgive me if I go against Alabama here. So give me the Tide.
I'll stay by myself again here, as Austin goes Tide too. So I'm the only two that picked Tigers this week. It's okay. It's okay. Tigers going to win. Miami travels to NC State. NC State 3.5-point underdogs here. The Wolfies are not very good, Coach. You know that. I don't know what's going on behind your head right now.
What just happened?
The Wolfies.
Did you do that?
The Wolfies are not good. The Tigers are not good, so they beat a bad team last week. Miami is not very good either. Is this on the CW? It's got to be. You know what? I'm all in. Give me the Wolfies.
That's what I'm talking about. It's about time you've come on over. Back in the day, their ad on TV for NC State was "We all go to NC State." So I'm glad to see you come on over to the dark side for the Wolfpack land. I think you hit it on the head. They're all bad, especially in that league. NC State is one of the few places in that league that actually has a good environment for football, and they're feeling pretty good about themselves after knocking off the Tigers. I think the only other person in the city of Columbia here that I know that is a Wolfpacker is my next door neighbor as well. So Wolfpack for the win. They win on a late field goal like they used to beat up on the Tigers with.
I got Miami. I like their ability to run the football on this one.
Well, how about Austin? He's going with the pack
too. It's about time, guys. I'd like to, guys, give yourself a little pat on the back. It's good to feel greatness every once in a while. You know what I mean?
We're just trying to impress. We're just trying to impress the boss, so our paycheck can go up a little bit more. Game 8. Oregon State travels to primetime Boulder. Colorado 14-point underdogs. Oregon State with DJU. I saw an interesting stat. If you compare DJU's to K's stats, QBR is higher for DJU, but all the other stats are eerily similar. But Oregon State wins easy.
It kind of goes back to me and you have talked about this all the time. You talked about the stats. Like somebody put out the stats at one time about Clemson's numbers. And then it talks about who they play against. So DJU has played better competition, so his numbers, in essence, are better. DJU, I want to hear his theme music more often. We're not hearing it enough anymore. I don't think we're going to hear it this weekend. Oregon State blowout.
I'll go the Beavers, too. If we were doing spreads that Drew sent me, that one might have been a little bit more interesting, but Oregon State's just too good for him, I think.
Austin's rolling with the Beavers as well. So clean sweep for the Beavers. UCLA travels to Arizona. Arizona 1.5-point underdogs here. Arizona big win last week. They keep it going. They beat UCLA.
You know, we've discussed this before. Can we stop with the West Coast games on here? I mean, you keep every week we're overloaded with West
Well,
Coast.
Coach,
And I can't stay up late enough to see who wins. I gotta figure out the next day, and it's not as fun. I've moved on from it already at that point in time. But with that being said, I don't know if either one of these teams are good. I think they're both bad. But I've been picking UCLA all year, so I'm gonna keep going with it, and I'm gonna go with the Bruins. I'm still a fan of Chip Kelly.
I like UCLA as well. Sammy, you mentioned Chip Kelly getting it done with defense this year.
First time in his career. I think.
Austin's going Bruins too, so I'll take Arizona by myself over here. Game 10 is Army at Air Force. So here's your Armed Forces game here. Air Force 18-point favorites. Air Force rolls easy.
You know, you got hounded last time we didn't have an Armed Forces.
I know. Hey, bet the under though. Bet the under.
Yeah, shout out to Jelly for wearing you out on that one. I'm going Air Force. I always think Army has the better unis, but Air Force with the better team, they win.
I think Air Force is better team, but shout out to Eli Hudgens. I'm going to go with West Point. So there we go.
There it is. He made the coach's pick. That's a Corso pick for you. So you move to the tiebreaker here. Missouri, Georgia, total points. Currently the over-under is set at 56. I'll give you Austin's. Austin went 56. Now, Austin did not know the over-under before he did that, so he probably looked it up. So Austin goes 56. I'm going 63.
Coach, I don't think Austin looked that up because he
his wife told him
when the picks get sent, if he responds right away, it's like immediate. So there's no workout. If he doesn't respond right away, you got to send him a reminder, and then it's immediate after the reminder. So I don't think there's much homework done there. I just think he thinks the Dogs are going to win 56-0. I'm gonna go over. I'm going 66.
I wrote down 61 when you sent it to me. So
look out here.
Total.
There's some close picks there. So if they score 62, well, we can't tag because I picked a lot of upsets. It is what it is. So hey, that's your week 10 pick 'em. Coach, we don't have a lot of weeks left here. Before you get to bowl pick 'em. There might not be any teams in the state in those bowls. But anyway, nonetheless, that's going to wrap us up for episode 63. So from all of us here at PBR South Carolina, have a great week.